You're washing dishes, and suddenly they're there. Not a memory you chose, just their voice, the specific way they said your name once, arriving uninvited. You didn't summon it. You can't dismiss it. And the strangest part isn't that it keeps happening. It's that some part of you doesn't want it to stop. There's a word for this that most people haven't heard. Dorothy Tennov, a psychologist, coined it in 1979, limerence. It's not quite love, not quite obsession. It's the state of involuntary, intrusive thinking about another person, the loop that runs whether you want it to or not. She spent years interviewing people about it, and what struck her was how universal it was, and how ashamed people felt admitting it. You're not weak for this. You're not failing at something. You are experiencing one of the oldest and least understood features of being human. A mind that has decided, without asking your permission, that this person matters. The question worth sitting with is not how to stop it, but what the mind is actually doing when it won't let someone go. Part of it is unfinished business. The brain is wired, deeply wired, to return to incomplete things. There's a name for this too, the Zeigarnik effect, studied by Soviet psychologist Zeigarnik in the 1920s, who noticed that waiters remembered unpaid orders far better than settled ones. Incomplete tasks create a kind of mental tension that keeps pulling attention back. And what is more unfinished than a person you still don't fully understand, or a feeling you never got to resolve? Think about how they occupy your mind most. It's rarely neutral replaying. It's the moment you almost said something and didn't. The text you sent that sat on read for 6 hours. The goodbye that didn't feel like a goodbye. Your mind keeps returning not to what was complete, but to the edges, the places where meaning was present but never settled. You're not obsessing. You're trying, still, to understand what happened. There's something else underneath it, though. Something a little harder to look at. When you can't stop thinking about someone, you are often also thinking about a version of yourself. The self that was seen by them, or wanted to be. Erich Fromm wrote in The Art of Loving, published in 1956, that love is not primarily a relationship to a specific person. It is an orientation, a way of being alive. Which means when we lose someone from our thoughts, we sometimes fear losing that aliveness too. So the thinking persists, not just because of them, but because of what you felt yourself becoming around them, or what you hoped you were becoming. The self you were in that light, maybe more open, more seen, more willing to say the real thing. And now, that version of yourself has nowhere to go. The thinking is partly a search for that feeling again. Not just them, but who you were with them close by. Attachment theory gives us another piece of this. John Bowlby's core insight, developed through the 1960s and 1970s, was that human beings don't just want connection, they need it the way they need air, the way they need sleep. And when an attachment is uncertain, when you don't know where you stand, when there was no clear ending, when they were sometimes close and sometimes gone, the mind enters a kind of hypervigilance. It scans constantly, it rehearses, it tries to prepare for every outcome. This is why intermittent connection is so much harder to release than steady closeness. A relationship with a clear and honest end is painful, but the mind can eventually close the file. It's the almost relationship, the one that flickered in and out, that the mind cannot file away. Every flicker of warmth was a variable reward, and variable rewards, as any behavioral scientist will tell you, are far more compelling than guaranteed ones. Your mind learned to keep watching, just in case. None of this means you are trapped, but it does mean that the usual advice, just stop thinking about them, keep busy, move on, misses what is actually happening. You can't will your way out of an open loop. The mind needs something more than distraction. It needs on other things that matter, other moments of genuine aliveness, other people who see you clearly, not as replacements, just as proof that the feeling can happen again. And maybe the most honest thing that can be said about all of it, the looping, the replaying, the 2 a.m. arrivals of their face, is that it is evidence of your capacity. You are capable of being affected this deeply by another person. That is not a flaw to fix. It is the thing that makes intimacy possible at all. The same openness that leaves you unguarded to this is the only thing that ever lets love in. So when they appear again, uninvited, in the middle of something ordinary, let them be there for a moment. Don't fight it, don't chase it. Just notice what it points to in you. Not a weakness, not a wound, but a want. A still open want. And wants, when you can name them clearly, have a way of slowly, quietly finding their way towards something real.